Good afternoon, it's 5 p.m. Friday and it's cake time. I am going to make a really simple cake because simply I am only able to do simple cakes. All you need is one of those trays. You need a bit of any grains really will do. I'm using buckwheat because I like buckwheat. Any nuts or seeds will work. I use almonds because I've tried them before in these recipes and they work really well. However, you could use walnuts and increase your omega-3 essential fatty acids for some more brain power and some good firing in the good old gray cells. And you could use butter or, where's my coconut oil? Trusty coconut oil works in here as well. I'm actually going to use the coconut oil to butter the tray. And the beauty about this recipe is the little add-in, namely the thyme. Thyme is a herb that you normally would probably link with more savory cooking or a pesto or something like that. But it works really well and brings out, pairs really beautifully with orange. And sometimes I imagine when I just pulled my thyme out of the garden, I thought, oh, this actually smells a bit like my tiny little oranges from my tree. So I put a recipe up there for you to follow. But it's such an easy cake, and as I say, it's simple. I really struggle to bake cakes that are high and round. For some reason, I burn them from the outside and they never cook on the inside. So I've learned to adapt all sorts of recipes to, you know, just tray baking. And I also have a really old gas oven that doesn't regulate so very well. So that seems to work for me. I put it on full blast for 20-25 minutes, and most cakes bake beautifully and they taste beautifully too. The other thing that is awesome when you bake with nuts and seeds is that the cake, because of the natural higher protein content and the natural oils in there, it stays moist for longer. It doesn't dry out, so you don't have to put on quite so much whipped cream like we do in Germany. Okay, so first step is, and if you don't have a food processor, never fret. You can either buy your almonds ground already as almond meal, or any food processor with a blade attachment will, or a NutriBullet will grind these to a meal. So this is what we're doing. And I ask you to block your ears because this thing is noisy, and especially when you do your almonds, that creates a whole lot of noise. So here it comes. Here you go. A whole lot of almond meal. I've got a bowl here where I will put my dry ingredients. With the Thermomix you have to, and you're a novice, you have to be careful to not over grind anything, because before you know it you've got almond butter, and we don't want that for this recipe. That would completely ruin the texture of your cake. It would be a glug and nothing fluffy like you desire. So now we'll put in a cup of naming, it's actually not a grain. Sorry guys, our internet dropped out. So where was I? Buckwheat, yes, not a grain. These funny triangular grains, bit difficult to see, and they're slightly greenish when they're not toasted. They're excellent sources of magnesium, a compound called quercetin, and that is really high, or bioflavonoids, belongs to and all your citrus fruits, particularly in the pith. This is why I choose to, if the recipe permits, and this is why I like, you know, you get the lovely balance, and they're nature's antihistamines, so really good for those people who suffer from hay fever and other high inflammatory conditions. In, and again, there'll be a little noise, so mind the noise. So it takes sort of 15 minutes, 15 seconds or so to get a nice meal flour consistency. There you go. You can see the dust there. In it goes into my ground almonds, and I'm going to add to there a little bit of baking powder, which I've got here. There is a lovely, in the health food shop, you get a lovely, 2 level teaspoons, you get a lovely aluminium-free baking powder to leaven your cakes. And I buy it in bulk, hence the big container. So into here, I will also strip off some thyme leaves. I've gotten some hearts and likes here. That's cute. They look so cute when they pop up on the screen. I just sort of into my dry mix here, stir them through, and I leave a few of these beautiful to put on as decoration when before I put my cake in the oven, just so it looks a bit and more, after all, special on the weekend. So good reason to include thyme is you get a whole and antimicrobial properties from your strong smelling such as thyme and rosemary, and I also have got stacks of it, and it's just nice to use what you've got in the and turn that into something that is really yummy. And you want about of the stripped off leaves for this recipe. Oh, it smells so good, guys. Yeah, as we always say, we really need smell-o-vision for a guide to Cardinia live videos. So once you've got your baking powder and all your dry ingredients, here we go. Sorry, internet dropped out again. So next step, so I've mixed all my dry ingredients, and the next here is the oranges. All I do is I cut off the end bits, because that would be simply too much. And oh, they've got a bit of red, a hint there.